And good morning, everybody. Welcome. Hot Takes Goodman and Haertl. Bruce, hope you had a nice new year. And now we are heading into the teeth of what should be an outstanding week and weekend of football. College football playoff game on Thursday, then one on Friday. We got games on Saturday. We got games on Sunday. We got a game on Monday. It is a football-gasm, and I am all for it.
Yep. Let me know where I can sign up. In front of my own television. Good.
Yes.
All right. That's even better. Yeah. It's that time of the year. Everyone talks about October as the best time of the year. I think we could contest that if we really wanted to, and we're in the midst of it right now.
Want to tell you about the Sportsbook Bar and Grill. You can find them in the DTC, Highlands Ranch, and Parker. And if you want to watch all of that football, you have 5 days to get down to the Sportsbook Bar and Grill and see exactly what I am talking about. A great menu, fun place to go. It is a sports bar that was built by sports fans, talking about Judson and Jeremy and John. It's just, it really is the sports bar of my choice. And when you walk in there, you might have your own sports bar. That's cool. But I can promise you, if you walk in the door, you're going to not only stay, but you are going to go back, even if you go back to your old sports bar. To me, this is the place in town, Sportsbook Bar and Grill. You can find them in the DTC, Highlands Ranch, and Parker. Time now for the lead.
The lead is presented by Sasquatch Casino, a family-owned casino that treats you like family.
Okay, Bruce. Sean Payton said the team was treating the Chargers game like a playoff game, even though LA did not play at least 7 starters, some key backups. Does the Broncos offense look ready for the playoffs? 0-3 in the red zone, didn't score a touchdown, kicked 4 field goals. How'd they look to you?
Well, I mean, you obviously want them finishing drives with touchdowns. You want them to be effective in the red zone. I don't panic over it because I can step back and take a look at where they are, who they are, and the uniqueness of their situation. They are one of 7 teams now in the playoffs with a chance to move this thing along. They are the only team that's guaranteed home field advantage. They are the only team that is guaranteed just 2 games. You got to win 2 games instead of 3. So the advantages that you get, regardless of how you play, are overwhelming. They are the only team that gets that kind of advantage. So, yes, but I'm not going to push back on the obviousness of, when you've been on the field, when there's 6 3-and-outs, and when you're not scoring points, that is cause for concern in the moment. Is it an overriding concern? Probably not as much. I mean, if they wanted to control the game, they got up 10-0 early on. Sean was able to control the game. They did it with their defense. But yeah, you won the game. You would have liked to have done it in a little bit more inspiring fashion. I probably understand that. But at the end of the day, the inspiration is derived from being the top seed in the AFC.
I remember when the Chiefs used to play the Broncos. Andy Reid knew the Broncos offense was not going to be scoring a lot of points. And the Chiefs, generally speaking, never ran up the score. Whether the Broncos defense was good or not, it seemed as if Andy Reid called a conservative game plan,
right,
knowing his defense would take over, not because their defense was great necessarily, but the Broncos offense wasn't very good. Do you feel that was, in theory, part of the game plan for Sean Payton? We will win this game. We have better players on the field. We don't have to be throwing it down. We don't have to throw the ball downfield as much. We don't have to put the ball in harm's way. Our defense will keep us in the game. If we knock down a couple of field goals, we'll probably be okay.
Yes, I do think that played into the game. But that doesn't necessarily play into the game. And, hey, we're not finishing in the red zone. I mean, I understand the whole concept of – and he said it. I mean, he said it last He said it last Monday. He said it last Wednesday. He said it again on Friday. The goal was to control the game. Now, we all saw the same game. The Broncos controlled that football game. They controlled it with their defense, period. They did. So, fine, you did control the game. But you want rhythm. You want to be able to depend on your offense to be able to do the things that they need. And you don't want them putting the defense back on the field after 3 quick plays. They did that 6 different times in that game yesterday where they were essentially 3 and out. Now, one of the 3 and outs was after a turnover and they got a field goal. But it was only 3 plays that they generated on offense. That was it. I mean, that's the minimum that you can get. So obviously there's some work to be done there. And they don't even know how to game plan now for the next test that comes up in 2 weeks. But yeah, I mean, they did what they needed to do. That's the most important thing. There are things that they've got to work on. No question about it.
Here's something we haven't said for most of the season, but now we're going to say it because watching that game unfold, conservative game plan or not, I know that Garrett Bowles got injured. I know that Forsyth was injured.
Yep.
Bowles came back. Forsyth came back. The offensive line is as bad as I've seen them all season.
I agree. I thought the offensive line, I thought early on pass protection was the issue. They did have a good opening drive. The one time that the offense really was in rhythm was in the opening drive. They went right down the field, looked like they were going to score, and then, ended up settling for 3. But I think Bo was sacked 3 different times yesterday. That's very unusual. They weren't, as the game went on, able to run the football consistently. Jaleel McLaughlin was their best running back yesterday. But they just weren't in rhythm. That is more concerning to me than really the lack of production. Is what this game is going to be. You know that how important this game is going to be, and yet you weren't on a good page to get what you needed to get done. Was it enough at the end? Yes. Is that all that matters? Sure. They ended up winning by 16 points or whatever it is. I understand all that, but you would have liked to have been able to taken care of some things to feel just a little bit better about where you are. Now you start from scratch, Eric. You know that better than anyone. You start with scratch with a game plan, and we'll see what they come up with. I mean, Sean Payton's not going to let any grass grow underneath him.
Bo Nix, 10 of 19 for 96 yards midway through the fourth quarter. I don't care if you call it conservative game plan or not.
Right.
That's garbage. Sorry. And Nix was running for his life. It felt like, right?
Yep.
I felt like I was watching Tim Tebow out there running from bees. And,
yeah.
You and I talked about this last week, and we had different opinions about this. I'm like, it kind of does matter how they finish up. And let's look at the competition that they're playing against. They find a way to play down to their competition.
They can, yeah.
They don't they do.
Up
they do.
And down.
What's that?
Up and down.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm with you certainly to a point on that. And obviously when you get to the playoffs, it's better teams. So in theory, you're playing higher to your competition.
Right. Sure.
But when I look at here it comes. When I look at Indiana football, they don't play down to their competition at all. They are consistent. They are consistently great, no matter who they play. I understand what happened against Penn State. I certainly understand when they went to Iowa, that was a close game as well. But to me, that is the sign of a really good team. It's okay to play down to your competition for a couple of games. They play down to their competition all season. Why do you think they had so many one-score games? And I'm wondering going into the playoff. Here, I'll just come out and ask you. Before the game, on a scale of 1 to 10, knowing that they would likely get the number 1 seed heading into the playoffs, scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how good did you feel about this team overall going into the game?
Oh, I felt like they were going to win the game.
No, I'm saying going into the playoffs, how did you feel about this team, scale of 1 to 10, heading into the playoffs before the Chargers game? Because you were pretty defiant with me saying, listen, whatever happens in this game, they have the home field advantage. They've won all of these games. They're going to finish with the best record, so on and so forth.
Yeah, and I still am. Because no team has an advantage. Look, it's up to them to get it done. But they start from a place where no other team comes close to. The advantage of what they have been able to do to get to 14-3 and to be the top seed is overwhelming. Now, they've got to play well, and that remains to be seen. Those are two different things. But there is not a team, including Jacksonville, who is playing lights out and just pounded the Broncos, 3 weeks ago on their own home field. There is not a team I'd rather be in the AFC right now than the Denver Broncos, simply because of the situation that they have earned. They've earned it. And no one will take that away from them. They are the number 1 seed, and they get all of the flowers and the benefits of being the number 1 seed. And so, am I confident about them going into the playoffs? They're playing at home. They've lost their one time in 2 years. I understand that the level of competition is going to rise. I think that the Broncos can rise with it because I've seen them do it all season long. I saw them do it in Philadelphia. I saw them do it in Houston. I saw them do it against the Packers. They're 4-2 against teams in the playoffs. 4-2 against teams in the playoff. I think the Broncos are in an enviable position.
Because they have the number 1 seed, not because
they've earned the number 1
hold
seed.
on a second.
I mean, you act like it was, and I'm not saying that you're doing this. People act like somehow it was just bestowed upon them.
I get it.
It wasn't bestowed upon them. They busted their ass for this, and they deserve it.
I'll put it to you this way.
Sure.
Seattle's the number 1 seed in the NFC. My opinion, the NFC is a tougher conference than the AFC. But that's not even the reason why I'm bringing this up. It seems to me you have more confidence in the Broncos because they're at home than you do because they're the Broncos.
Well, wouldn't you? Don't you have confidence in the Broncos? Don't you have more confidence in the Broncos when they're at home?
No. I look at the team. For Seattle, their home field advantage is just as effective as the Broncos.
Agreed.
But I am confident with this Seattle team because of who they are as well. That is tightly tethered together. It seems to me that you have more confidence because they're at home than who they are as a team.
Well, they lost 2 games on the road, and they lost 1 game at home.
I'm talking about how they're playing now and how the offense has been so wildly inconsistent.
And I appreciate that, Eric. We are going to disagree on that, and I respect that. I respect where you're coming from, and I think that you are in the vast majority. I think Bruce, people are concerned about how they look.
Bruce, you are not a guy, and you have never been a guy who drinks the Kool-Aid.
No.
But it seems like when nobody's looking, because they have the home field advantage, you're taking a couple of sips. Because they're at home. They were home against the Chargers.
How do you get
a depleted Chargers team?
Eric, how do you get to be at home?
I get it.
I love, and we will always disagree on this too. You like the snapshot of the moment, where there has to be, to me, a collective awareness of what this team has accomplished over 18 weeks. It has to count for something.
It does. It does. And they have the number 1 seed because of it.
Okay. So I don't want to hear about drinking the Kool-Aid. All I do is look at the evidence. They're 14-3. Now, we can sit and argue about how they got to 14-3. And that is, it's good chatter. It's good fodder. It's good grist for the mill. I get all of that. That's okay.
So let me phrase it different. Let me phrase it differently. No matter who they play in their opening round game, will you be surprised if the defense plays poorly?
Yes.
Me too.
Yes.
Would you be surprised if the offense plays poorly? Enough said. That's my point exactly.
Well, I mean, no, but you're not a nuance guy. See, I mean, look.
Well, I asked you about the defense. You didn't pause. When I asked you about the offense, you had to think for a second, which is normal.
I think there's a clearer picture with the defense because there's been a clearer picture about the defense all season long. The defense has outpaced the offense, but you win together. You win together in 3 phases. You win with 11 players on the field. And I think the Broncos have a team that can beat anyone that they play. And the Broncos have a team that can lose to anyone that they play.
Here's another. I keep skinning this cat different ways with you.
Go for it, my man.
I know that. And I get it. The defense will not be allowed to have a bad day in their opening round playoff game or throughout the playoffs. They cannot have a bad day, period, or else they're going to lose. I think. Look at the Jacksonville game. The offense, if they have a bad game, they still certainly have a chance to win because that's what we have seen out of their record this year. How's that?
Yeah,
There's no margin for error for the defense. They have to be on top of their game. If they're not, I do not feel good about them winning. If the offense doesn't play well, I still feel they can win because we've seen it.
Yeah. Is the defense better than the offense? Yeah, I'm not going to deny that.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that.
It's the same thing they're very similar to Houston. Their offense can't afford to have their defense cannot afford to have a bad day.
Yeah,
Houston and the Broncos are very similar in that regard, although I do believe the Broncos actually have a better offense than the Texans.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Certainly pretty, but I would agree with you. I think that they are very similar football teams. Yeah, yes. The one thing that you're counting on is the defense to be what the defense has been. It's harder to count on that with the offense. It is. But they have won in a lot of different ways this year. This is a football team that has found ways to win. There is great value in having that kind of confidence to find ways to win. They were +2 in turnovers yesterday. The defense did a really good job getting to that goal as well. And those points ended up it was 10 points that they produced from 2 turnovers. Those are all really important things. We'll just have to wait and see. It was a very, I don't want to use the term dumbed down, but it was a very simple version of the offense yesterday. And I think a lot of that had to do with getting up 10-0 early, knowing that they were playing Trey Lance, and letting the defense handle this thing. Now, you don't want to go off the field on 6 3-and-outs, and you don't want to go off the field not scoring in the red zone and not finishing drives inside the 10-yard line. I will give you that. But we're going to find out because the offense is going to have to pull their weight, period. And they know that.
Let's flip this around to the defense. When the Broncos defense gave up 34 to the Jaguars, I'm like, man, I just want to see a bounce back game. I just did. I wanted to see a bounce back game. So against the Chiefs and the Chargers, their last 2 games, listen, I'm going to go by the numbers. Sometimes when we chat about this, I feel that you look at it as black and white. Look at the scores. Look at the games. Look at the record. It's bigger than that. I'm trying to color the picture. I think you're saying, well, just look at the games, look at the record, look at the number 1 seed. So if we're going to play that game, Broncos defense is on a heater. They've only given up 8 points a game over their last 2. Feeling good about the defense?
Sure. But,
Good.
I mean,
I'm glad you are.
I've already
2 backup quarterbacks and whatever. I'm not feeling great about the Broncos defense, although this season they have been great and outstanding at times. But the last 2 games, you can't even evaluate this defense because look at the quarterbacks and the teams that they have played. But if you want to go by, look, they won those games, giving up 8 points a game. Fine. To me, that's black and white. I think it's important to put it in perspective. Who have they played to? I'm usually the black and white guy.
But there's nuance within the extremes. How do you even rate a defense if you're going to go by that extreme?
How did they play against the Chargers? Was it a dominant defense?
Look who they played against. I mean, okay. And so what is your point?
Was it a dominant?
They totally shut them down. It's the NFL. I mean, this is. I mean, yeah, there's a huge difference between Trey Lance and Justin Herbert. I get that.
Trey Lance.
But all you can do is win the game that
I get
play.
it.
It's all you can do.
If Trey Lance is on an NFL roster next year, I will be stunned. He might be one of the worst quarterbacks I have seen in years based on just this one game. The throws he made were closer to me sitting on my couch than his own wide receivers. I mean, he was missing guys badly. And oh, by the way, Knicks missed badly on many passes as well. And 2 of them on the same drive should have been touchdowns.
Yeah. I mean, Bo Nix did not have a good day. The offensive line did not have a good day. The running game went in fits and starts.
But wait, I thought it was a playoff game, Sean. I thought you prepared for it like it was a playoff game. So if this is your playoff effort.
Eric.
But wait.
Sean Payton has the trump card, and 19-3 is the trump card. And they are one of 7 teams left. Now, we'll reload a week from next Sunday or whenever they play next, and then the challenge is rejoined. And if they fail miserably at the end of that, we'll have something to chat about. But as of right now, all you can do is be the top seed in the AFC. I don't know.
Right.
And I don't mean that to be flippant when I come back to you or anyone else with that. I don't mean to be flippant. But to me, it's kind of duh. I mean, they're the top seed in the AFC. I'm not going to argue that the NFC is probably better than the AFC, but it doesn't matter. You're playing in the AFC now, and you've got 2 games at home to win to get to the Super Bowl. Now, maybe people will be griping and grousing or complaining or concerned or whatever it is about how the Broncos are doing it if they get to the Super Bowl, and maybe that'll be a discussion for then. I don't know. I know they're the number 1 seed in the AFC, and they have earned it. Are they a perfect football team? Far from it.
Right.
But you know what? When we start discussing that, find me one that is. Find me one that checks every single box. You won't find it. You won't find it. Even the Patriots have played a team against one winning game, but one winning team. I think the Patriots are a good football team. I think Jacksonville is a really good football team. I'm not so sure that Jacksonville, if someone said, pick me a team that's going to win in the AFC, I'm not so sure that I wouldn't probably come up with Jacksonville. But I know this, Jacksonville's going to have to go, is more than likely
and have to beat the Broncos. Yeah, they're going to have, yes, for Jacksonville, they will have to come back to Denver to beat the Broncos 2 times in a row.
Yes, that's right.
2 times in a row.
And they might have to do it on a 32-degree day, for instance. I mean, but we'll have to see how all of that stuff plays out. I get where you're coming from, and I respect it. I respect your point of view, and I hear it from people all over everywhere, and I get it. The Broncos controlled the game yesterday. Did they control it in the manner that they wanted to? No. That is a fact. No, not completely. Now, they totally shut them down, and they got 2 turnovers, and they produced points off of turnovers. They controlled the football game, and that was a goal going in. It did allow Sean Payton to take his foot off the creative pedal for his offense. And
you think he did it because there's a chance the Chargers could come back in 2 weeks? Because I keep reading that narrative. You buying that?
No, not necessarily.
Me either.
No,
Me either.
I don't think I buy that. You know, film is film, and I get it. I mean, but when you play a team a couple of times a year,
right,
you become extremely familiar with their personnel.
Yeah.
And so then it becomes a question of what the personnel can do. It's not always necessarily even about the scheme. You know so much about the scheme because there's truth in the video.
Here's the thing. We can sit and talk about game plan all day.
Sure.
That offense didn't execute for shit.
No, wasn't good yesterday. Absolutely.
And really, they won. They won against an inferior team sitting a bunch of starters. And what they could control, they barely controlled it. Offensive line got wrecked. Bo Nix was not that good. Where was Cortland Sutton in the game plan? All of that. What they listen, you can call a conservative game plan like the opening drive. Fucking score a touchdown then. Because it's not as if they got into the red zone and said, you know what, we're going to take our foot off the gas here. No. They were trying to score 3 times in the red zone,
right? And
they couldn't. It's the execution that is troublesome to me.
Yeah.
As much as anything else.
Yeah. And then you throw in 3 sacks, which you rarely see. You throw
and by the way, their execution against the Chiefs wasn't much better. Another team that was depleted. And then in the game before, their execution was terrible on defense. And then offensively, they did score some points. You and I agree on this. Momentum is winning your next game, and suddenly you have momentum. I'm just saying that no matter who comes in here, I will not be surprised one bit if they lose. No matter who they play. Would you be surprised?
Surprised? No, they're going to be playing.
And it's the any given Sunday thing. I get it.
They're going to be, but more than that, they're playing damn good football teams, very capable football teams. But matchups are matchups, and game plans are game plans for the matchups that you're going to be facing. Some teams, I would rather see the Pittsburgh Steelers coming in than the Jacksonville Jaguars, for instance. I mean, right. I would feel better about. On paper, I would feel better about game planning for that kind of game than I would what Jacksonville has done, who I think, by the way, have a good working model for how to beat the Denver Broncos because they did it.
Coming up after the break, and you know me as well as anyone, I'd rather stand on my own island than be with the masses. And I'm not a hot take guy. I don't like to flow with everybody else. But sadly, about 76,000 people watching that offense yesterday agreed with me. We'll talk about that next.
Ever wondered where city and county fleet vehicles go when they retire? Now's your chance to find out and score big. Imagine driving away with a great deal on a reliable vehicle. For over 45 years, Roller Auction has been the trusted source for government fleet vehicles and equipment. Trucks, SUVs, sedans, and more, all selling to the highest bidder. Don't miss out. Visit roller.bid/hot takes to get auction updates today. Your next vehicle could be just a click away.
Everyone has their favorite barbecue spot. Mine, Smokin' Dave's Barbecue and Brew. My favorites, slowly smoked ribs, smoked corned beef Reuben, smoked meatloaf with a portobello balsamic cream sauce. Don't forget about Smokin' Dave's 16-hour smoked brisket and pork with one of their 4 homemade barbecue sauces. Great sides, you bet. Barbecue beans made with pork and brisket and their southern corn bake. Man, you got to try it. Plus, they have amazing non-barbecue entrees on the menu. Go where I go, Smokin' Dave's Barbecue and Brew in North Denver.
Ferguson's Heating and Cooling is the best in Denver, and their customers agree. Ferguson's has 165 5-star Google reviews, and here's one from Betsy. Highly professional, prompt, and honest. I switched to Ferguson's when I became aware my former company was trying to sell me a whole new system I didn't need. Ferguson's is an honest, working, family-owned business that'll give you a fair price, the highest quality parts and equipment, and they always show up on time. You can trust the Ferguson family like you trust your own family. Go to fergusonsheatingandcooling.com.
Everyone has their favorite sports bar. Mine, the Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch, DTC, and now in Parker. All their locations are everything a sports bar should be. An upscale menu with 12 different burgers, outstanding wings, and my favorite, the Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. They've got every game on the NFL Sunday Ticket, MLB Extra Innings, NHL Center Ice, NBA League Pass, plus soccer, rugby, and UFC. Sportsbook, great hangout bar, great for private parties. The Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch, DTC, and now in Parker. They are the sports bar.
Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos in Blackhawk have another incredible promotion. They'll be giving away a Ford Maverick Tremor truck or over $25,000 in cash the weekend of January 9th. Daily cash drawings are every 45 minutes between 10 a.m. and midnight. Players can earn daily entries with every locked-up jackpot or by redeeming players' points on their players' cards. Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos, loose slots, great promotions, delicious food, and a family-owned casino that treats you like family.
And welcome back. Hot Takes, Goodman and Haertl. Time now for What's Trending. Tell your wife I say hello.
What's Trending is presented by Ferguson's Heating and Cooling. Your family should trust the Ferguson family for all your heating and cooling needs, and you'll see why they have over 165 5-star Google reviews. Make an appointment today at fergusonsheatingandcooling.com.
How's Sarah doing?
Actually, older son. Sorry about that. My apologies.
Okay. I'm gonna keep skinning this cat here with you a little bit.
You go, my friend.
You know, sometimes I will take points off the board. I'll take yards off of somebody's average. You know, if somebody ran for 70 yards,
right.
Okay, and he had a 65-yard run, and he carried the ball 10 times, that's not very good. And sometimes I am as guilty of anybody as doing that. Would you have felt as good about the Broncos yesterday if they won by the score of 12-3? Because the only touchdown that was scored was a pick six. And oh, by the way, that is something I am encouraged by.
Yeah.
Granted, Trey Lance is awful, and it was a tipped pass, and I understand that. And good for the Broncos for at least forcing turnovers in that game, something they haven't done well this year, and then at least scoring on a turnover. But one reason why the fans were booing, I found it comical, actually, that Sean Payton said the fans were great. Was his headset on really tight and he didn't hear the boos? But if the score was 12-3, would you have felt any differently?
Well, it would have been 7 points less. I mean, I guess.
So 19 minus 7 is 12-3.
Yeah. It wouldn't have changed the situation very much. I mean, I guess in varying degrees, it may have changed something, but the end result is what we're left with, and that's all that I can go on, Eric. I mean, are you going to feel like? I mean, if they come out and score 27 points in the game that they play, I mean, all of a sudden, are you going to be like, oh, you know, everything is great again? You know, the sun is shining and the world.
Nope. I can answer that question for you. If you're asking me a question, I'll answer it for you. They had a great game. That's what I will say. They put it all together offensively. Well done. Because we didn't see that buildup heading into that game. Well done. But unfortunately, with the last two games that we've seen against depleted teams, the offense has been on the struggle bus.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that. They have not been productive. Yes. And
is it surprising to you? And it almost seemed like and I know I'm dating us when I say this. 12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, the Broncos on their way, they certainly had control of the game.
Yes.
On their way to the number 1 seed, 14 wins, and the fans are booing. That was a scene out of the Twilight Zone.
Well, 6 3-and-outs will do that for you. I mean, there's the booing is probably a little over dramatic, but okay.
Were they booing, or is that dramatic?
The booing is a little overly dramatic, I think, when you're talking about a football team that's on the verge of clinching the number 1.
Over dramatic for what I'm saying, or the fans actually booing?
I think the fans actually booing is a little overly dramatic.
That's why it seems like a scene out of the Twilight Zone to me.
Yeah,
how is this happening?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I actually got more of a chuckle out of it than anything else, to be really honest with you.
Right.
This offense has been odd all season long because they've gone in fits and starts, and their fits are frustrating. Now, there also have been a dynamic offense at times this season. And when you have the evidence and you have seen that, you know the capability that they do have. Mm-hmm. And so that bolsters you a little bit, even rolling into this, the most difficult part of the season, where you are going to be playing damn good people from here on out, period. And it's like what our boy Adam Troutman said to me yesterday. We are at that point of the season where one bad day at the office sends you home. Well, not just one bad day, one bad quarter, or one bad showing by a unit can absolutely shipwreck you now. And that's where the Broncos are. They know.
I'll tell you who I felt badly for was Adam Troutman. I could not find a bet out there on the apps that I use to get Adam Troutman with 5 catches.
Right.
Thank God I didn't.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no kidding.
Was he even targeted?
No, I don't believe so.
He needed 5 catches for a bonus.
Yeah.
I was stunned.
Yeah.
He wasn't even targeted, because I'm thinking you're going up against the Chargers defense that is certainly vulnerable without their top 2 players. I was surprised he wasn't even targeted. I want to take a hard right turn here. Nuggets got Aaron Gordon and Christian Braun back in the lineup against Brooklyn. They wound up losing the game, lost it pretty handily. With that, how much stock do you put in this loss moving forward, considering it was Gordon and Brown's first game back in the lineup?
Well, what have they lost? 4 of their last 5, 5 of their last 6, something like that. They haven't looked particularly good in doing it. That was not a good team they were playing yesterday. Michael Porter Jr. notwithstanding, that is a team that had only won 10 games going in. They won their 11th game yesterday. It's just not a very good basketball team. They've got Philadelphia and Boston to finish off this road trip. David Adelman was not pleased with the lack of focus and the lack of effort yesterday, giving up 127 to that team. The Nuggets, I don't want to say are concerning me right now, because I do think that it's nothing that good health won't take care of, but you got to weather the storm, right? Now, they do have Aaron Gordon and Christian Braun back, and obviously they were inserted into the lineup. So getting them back and into speed and doing the things that help them win may take a little bit of time. But all of a sudden they look to be leaking some oil, and it's understandable, Eric, right? I mean, when you've had this many injuries, and you hate to go to the injury card, but my God, the Nuggets they've been a one-off. Everyone has injuries, okay, but not everyone has injuries like the Nuggets do. 4 starters out at one time. The key backup to Nikola Jokic out for 4 to 6 weeks. All of these things have conspired against them. But you got to figure out a way to be competitive in the interim. You can't
Right.
You can't slip so far down the rung that you have problems digging yourself out of a hole.
Right. Michael Porter Jr. had a game.
Yeah.
27 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 block. I don't remember seeing many line scores like that.
No.
Maybe with the points, but certainly not with the assists. 5 assists? Are you kidding me? With that, I think some people will say, gee, why couldn't he do that here? Well, I mean, I know somebody who's very, very tight with MPJ, and MPJ had been frustrated for a long time that the Nuggets were holding him back, that he felt he could do more. Then again, when you look at the hierarchy of scoring on this team, it was going to be Jokic and Murray, and then maybe Michael Porter Jr., and Aaron Gordon certainly has the chance to go off. Some people might say, why didn't we keep him? So watching this game, you can make the argument, why didn't they keep him? Is that fair? You can make the argument. Is that fair?
Sure.
I'm going to make the argument why you shouldn't have kept him.
Yeah.
Ready for it?
Go.
Okay. Let's start with Tim Hardaway Jr. scored 26 points. Peyton Watson scored 23 points in that game. So just those two guys alone, that's 49 points. And Michael Porter Jr. scored 27. Peyton Watson is not starting, and Tim Hardaway Jr. is not even on this team if Michael Porter Jr. isn't playing for Brooklyn. Yeah. That's my answer.
Yeah. And by the way, someone has to lead really bad teams in points. Someone has to be their leading scorer. And that is not a dig at Michael Porter Jr. We all know Michael Porter Jr. has game. Right? We've seen it enough to know that he has game.
We didn't know he had this type of game.
Well, he wouldn't have this type of game and it's not holding him back. It's like, where do you take the shots from? He's a catch and shoot guy. He's not even a guy that moves particularly well. He's catch, shoot. Right. Now he's better rebounding the ball. He's still a one-handed rebounder. He's not an aggressive rebounder, in my opinion. But I think Michael Porter Jr. is a really nice player. And I think that the Nuggets got what they needed to get out of Michael Porter Jr. when he played. And I think that they got what they got out of him, even more importantly, when they traded him. That was even more valuable for the Nuggets. And I think that with time and health, that will be proven out.
Taking another hard right turn, Avalanche just completed another double-digit win streak. Outside of injuries, and now Gabriel Landeskog has an upper body injury, better upper body than lower body, because we know what part of the body that could be the big problem, which is a knee.
Right.
I think that's the only thing to me that slows down the Avalanche, because right now they are a freight train going at top speed, and they are wrecking everything in their way with scoring, defense, goaltending. Again, we talked about this last week. I can't remember too many teams that I have ever covered that have been this dominant.
They are the best team playing right now in sports.
Well said.
Period.
In sports, and I agree. In
sports, yes. They are the best team playing in sports. I didn't obviously get as much time yesterday to watch them. Obviously saw the Landeskog injury. Man, my heart jumped when I saw him down along the boards. But yeah, this team is breathtaking. Breathtaking on a nightly basis. I mean, they were playing on the back end of a brutal back-to-back yesterday in Florida, and then they got to turn around quickly now and play against a very good Tampa Bay team on the road on Tuesday. But this team has met every challenge that they've been faced with so far, and at this particular point are just redefining greatness in the NHL. Now, I'd rather be doing this in April and May than in December and January, but it's part of the building blocks for what I think we're going to see with this team, who I hope against hope stays healthy. And they've gotten nicked up a little bit on this trip. 3 or 4 guys are no worse, are a little worse for the wear. So you hope that they can get healthy and
well, you know what? They got a huge advantage. 3-week Olympic break.
Yes, that's going to help a lot, isn't it?
We'll take it.
Yeah,
right.
I'm with you, brother. I'm with you.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Hot Takes, Goodman and Haertl. Make it the best possible day you can.